In the mysterious depths of ancient Norse legends, where the lines between the realms of gods and men blur, a saga of epic proportions unfolds. This is no ordinary tale, but the story of the end of worlds, of a battle so colossal that it echoes through the corridors of time. Welcome to the tale of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, where the fate of the universe hangs in the balance. Prepare to embark on a journey through a frozen apocalypse, a war that shatters the heavens, and a rebirth that redefines existence itself. Pre-Ragnarok signs. Before the cataclysm of Ragnarok, ominous signs foretold the end of all things. The first and most chilling of these was the Fimbulwinter, the Great Winter. Imagine not one, not two, but three relentless winters back to back, each more brutal than the last, with no reprieve of a summer's warmth. This wasn't just a cold spell. It was a deep freeze that gripped the world, a harbinger of the doom that was to come. But the cold was not the only sign. Across the realms, from the human world of Midgard to the distant corners of the cosmos, a wave of chaos spread. Wars erupted with a ferocity never seen before. Brother turned against brother, and the moral fabric of societies unraveled. It was as if the very anticipation of Ragnarok awakened the darkest aspects of all beings, setting the stage for the final act in the drama of the gods and the world. The awakening of giants. As the world shivered under the relentless cold of the Fimbulvetter, another foreboding event was unfolding. In Jotunheim, the realm of the giants, a stirring began. These colossal beings, long standing as adversaries of the gods, sensed the onset of Ragnarok. It was a call to arms, a signal that their age-old conflict with the Aesir and Vanir was nearing its ultimate climax. Each giant, from the mightiest mountain dwellers to the cunning frost giants, prepared for battle in their own way. Their ancient grudges against the gods were about to be settled in a war that would shake the foundations of the 9 realms. The giants knew that Ragnarok was their chance to rewrite the destinies that the Norns, the weavers of fate, had laid out for them. The escape of Loki and his children. In the midst of this growing turmoil, a pivotal moment came to pass. Loki, the trickster god known for his cunning and deceit, had been bound by the gods as punishment for his misdeeds. But as Ragnarok drew near, the bonds that held Loki weakened. With a mix of guile and rage, Loki tore free from his chains, setting into motion events that would lead to the downfall of the gods themselves. But Loki was not the only harbinger of chaos. His children, too, born of his wild spirit, broke free from their shackles. Fenrir, the immense wolf, whose destiny was foretold to bring about Odin's demise, unleashed his fury upon the world. His howls echoed across the realms, a signal of the terror that was to come. And then there was Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent. This colossal creature, encircling the earth, began to writhe and thrash in the ocean's depths. His movements caused massive tidal waves, stirring the seas into a maelstrom that threatened to engulf the land. The destruction of Yggdrasil. As the giants readied themselves and Loki's offspring wreaked havoc, Yggdrasil, the great tree that stands as the pillar of the 9 realms, began to tremble. This wasn't just a mere shudder. It was as if the tree itself sensed the impending doom. Yggdrasil's tremors were felt throughout the realms, a forewarning that the end was near. The tree, often a symbol of stability and continuity, now seemed to be echoing the chaos unfolding across the worlds. Its branches, which stretched into the heavens, shook, and its roots, deep in the underworld, quivered. The destruction of Yggdrasil was more than a physical event. It was a cosmic signal that the fabric of the universe was unraveling. The tree that linked the worlds was now heralding their imminent collapse. It was a clear sign that Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, was no longer just a prophecy. It was a reality about to unfold. The death of stars. Amidst the quivering of Yggdrasil and the chaos on Earth, a chilling phenomenon unfolded in the heavens. One by one, stars began to vanish from the night sky. It was as if the very lights that had guided sailors and inspired poets were being extinguished by an unseen hand. This was no mere celestial event. It was a cosmic omen of the darkest hour. The disappearance of the stars was more than just a plunge into physical darkness. It was a descent into the unknown, a universe bracing for its end. The night sky, once a tapestry of cosmic beauty, now lay barren and devoid of its celestial guardians. In Norse mythology, the death of the stars was a signal that the old order was fading away. It was a prelude to the final act of Ragnarok, where the very fabric of existence would be challenged. As the last star flickered out, the world held its breath, awaiting the dawn of the final battle. Heimdall's warning. In the growing darkness, with the stars gone and the world in turmoil, a solitary figure stood vigilant. Heimdall, the ever-watchful sentinel of the gods, gazed out from his post at the Bifrost, the rainbow bridge that connected Asgard to the other realms. He knew that the time had come to sound the alarm, to call the gods to arms. With a deep breath, Heimdall blew the Gjallarhorn. Its sound was not just a horn's blast. It was a clarion call that resonated through every realm, a sound that stirred the soul of every being. The sound of the Gjallarhorn was ancient and powerful, a signal that the final battle, Ragnarok, was no longer just a distant prophecy, but an immediate, looming reality. The call of the Gjallarhorn was a warning, but also a call to valor. For the gods, it was a summons to fulfill their destiny. For others, it was a sign to brace for the cataclysm to come. As the sound echoed across the cosmos, the stage was set for the ultimate confrontation between the forces of order and chaos. The March of the Fire Giants. As Heimdall's horn echoed through the realms, a formidable army was on the move in Muspelheim, the land of fire. Here, Surtur, the mighty leader of the fire giants, rallied his forces for the final battle. Surtur, a being as old as the gods themselves, was a figure of fiery wrath and immense power. With Surtur at their head, the fire giants marched with a singular purpose: to confront the gods in Asgard. The very ground trembled beneath their feet as they moved, a sea of flame and fury, unstoppable in their advance. The March of the Fire Giants was not just a physical movement. It was the unleashing of an ancient force, long held at bay, now free to seek its vengeance. As they neared Asgard, the home of the gods, the tension in the air was palpable. The March of the Fire Giants, led by the formidable Surtur, signaled unmistakably that Ragnarok was at their doorstep. With each step, the inevitability of the coming cataclysm grew clearer. Nothing now could stop the wheels of fate from turning towards the final apocalyptic showdown. The release of the dead. As the armies of the Fire Giants approached Asgard, attention shifted to the underworld realm of Hel. There, Hel, the goddess of death and daughter of Loki, was poised to play her part in Ragnarok. Her domain, named after herself, was about to release its fearsome inhabitants. With her striking half-living and half-dead appearance, Hel commanded the spirits of the dead. The final battle. As the destiny of the 9 realms hung in the balance, Vigrid transformed into a battleground of mythic proportions. Here, the gods of Asgard, led by Odin, readied themselves against a formidable array of adversaries. Arrayed before them were not only the giants, but also the monstrous children of Loki, each a formidable force in their own right. The battle commenced with a cacophony that echoed through the realms. Gods and giants collided with a force that shook the fabric of reality. Amidst them, Fenrir, the great wolf, bared his fangs against the divine, and Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, coiled and struck with deadly precision. The chaos of the battle was a maelstrom of fury and valor. Above the clashing of swords and shields, the sky roiled with elemental fury, mirroring the destruction below. In this ultimate showdown, every action was laden with the weight of centuries, each moment a culmination of the long-told prophecies of Ragnarok. the death of major gods. As the Battle of Ragnarok reached its peak, the fate of the gods began to unfold, just as the old stories had foretold. In a fierce fight, Odin faced Fenrir. Despite his power and wisdom, Odin was defeated by the great wolf and devoured, marking a tragic end for the king of gods. But Odin's story didn't end there. Vidar, his son, stepped in. Filled with anger and purpose, Vidar killed Fenrir, avenging his father's death. Elsewhere, Thor, the god of thunder, fought his old enemy, the Midgard serpent. After a brutal fight, Thor killed the serpent, but not without cost. Thor was poisoned and took only a few steps before he fell, marking the end of a great warrior. Heimdall and Loki, two old enemies, clashed in a fierce duel. Their fight ended with both of them dying, a final closure to their long-standing feud. Freya, who had given up his magical sword, bravely fought Surtur, but without his sword, he was overpowered by the fire giant. Freya's fall was a brave sacrifice, symbolizing the end of a noble god. Many more gods met their end on this day. Tyr, the war god, was killed by the monstrous dog Garm. Bragi, known for his poetry and music, died fighting valiantly. These losses marked the end of a legendary era, an era of gods and heroes. The world engulfed in flames. As the Battle of Ragnarok reached its climax, a final devastating act unfolded. Surtur, the mighty leader of the fire giants, unleashed his most fearsome power. The world itself began to burn. The flames set by Surtur were no ordinary fire. They spread rapidly across the 9 realms, consuming everything in their path. The land, the seas, even the sky itself were caught in this inferno. It was a fire that spelled the end of the old world, a cleansing blaze that would pave the way for something new, the sinking of the world. After Surtur's fire had swept through the realms, what remained of the old world faced its final chapter. The land, scarred and weakened by the flames, began to crumble and fall. It was as if the very foundations of the world had given way. Piece by piece, the land that had been home to gods and men, giants and creatures of myth, succumbed to the sea. The great tree Yggdrasil, which had connected the 9 realms, shuddered as its roots loosened their grip on the earth. The world, as it had been known, was sinking into a vast and endless ocean. This was not just a physical sinking. It was the symbolic descent of an entire cosmology. The old world, with its tales, its battles, and its glories, was being washed away, clearing the stage for a new beginning. A new world emerges. From the endless sea that had claimed the old world, a miracle unfolded. As the turmoil of Ragnarok settled, the waters began to recede, revealing the first signs of a new earth. Fresh and untouched, this land rose from the sea, full of potential and the promise of a fresh start. But this new world was not empty. From the ashes of the old, some had survived. Among them were a few gods, including Balder, who returned from the dead, bringing with them the wisdom and memories of the world before. Balder's return was a symbol of hope, a bridge between the old world and the new. Alongside the gods, 2 humans, Lif and Lifthrasir, also emerged. They had survived the destruction, hidden away in the safety of Yggdrasil's branches. Their survival ensured that mankind would continue in this new world, a chance to rebuild and flourish. This new era was one of peace and harmony, a stark contrast to the conflicts of the past. It was a time for rebuilding, for new stories and new legends. The cycle of creation and destruction had turned, and from the ruins of Ragnarok, a new world had been born, ripe with possibilities and hope for the future. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe